Welcome to The Brief. As some of you might know, the solar energy sector in India was never taken up on priority as it remained in the shadows of the more cash-rich conventional energy industries. And this has been the case in most countries around the world, especially the developing ones. A couple of decades into its post-independence era, India faced significant challenges as it tried to cater to its huge population and industrial growth, particularly on the fronts of its infrastructure and energy supply. And thermal, the established format of energy generation, became the most sought after and in some ways the norm. But today, as India enters the major league as an emerging economy and as the world grows more conscious to climate change and sustainability, the story is changing. In this short series, we will be looking at some of the key aspects of the Indian solar sector, of those related to its growth, challenges faced, and future opportunities. For this, it is important to start from the beginning. The past 2 decades have seen the most activity in Indian solar, from proliferation and trade to now manufacturing and installation. And a primary driver for this have been the changing public policies that have been in force. To get a deeper insight into this, we spoke with the leading man at India's Solar Energy Federation, Subrahmanyam Pulipaka. Here are his thoughts on what has been the evolution of solar policy in India.
The first time where the first planning commission report came, which talked about solar and the necessity for India to shift to alternate energies, and that was the first time someone spoke about solar. Consequently, Jawaharlal Nehru solar mission was established. Even states like Gujarat started their own plants, Rajasthan. The idea, and again this is my opinion, that at that time was to grow slowly and understand it while we are growing. And it was true that the prices were high. The appetite was not so much that was existing there, but still bold initiatives by both Gujarat and Rajasthan paved the penetration of solar 2009-10, and we had installations up and running by 2011-2012, and 20 gigawatt by 2022 was at that time was an ambitious target, without any doubt. When you're going megawatt scale, so going to 20 gigawatt is 20,000 megawatt in 20 years is still a very ambitious goal. 10 years. After the new government took over in 2014, the situation changed. It would be an understatement to call it a paradigm shift, because paradigm shift is transition. It was a giant leap, which was very good, because until then the industry was trying to figure out how things were, and we were trying to deal with the pricing, we were trying to deal with the demand, and surprisingly we were exporting solar panels outside the country. So then suddenly when the target was reset and it became 100 gigawatt, that gave a big jolt to the so-called Indian solar dream. And see, the thing with policy is it evolves, and if it doesn't evolve, that means you already had your learnings, and that can only be done when you have an incumbent industry to take reference to, or you just copy paste a model that is already prevalent, existing and well noticed. I won't say we didn't do any of these things. We did both. We try to learn lessons from the West, especially countries like Germany, France, US and even Australia. We also reference the already existing conventional power industry to make the policy. But having said that, solar in itself is something very peculiar, and the challenges of operating and maintaining it will come as we go. So we didn't have all the things that were necessary for a good policy that time, because of the way the energy was in the nation stage, and slowly we evolved into effective policy making, which can help us run it very well. I would say our policy making is more frugal than anyone else in the world, because we try to find ways and means through which we can address the problem locally and with more intensity, rather than looking out for graphs and data and all, because we look at more pragmatic and feasible solutions. And I think it is necessary for such that frugal innovation to come to solar also, so that we can get less burden, and the ecosystem will feel more secure than risky.